So increasing the value in the business that we've got, what are some of the things that you'd recommend to other people that are just starting out?
Easy. First one, vision and mission. Having a business without a vision, without a mission, is a business going nowhere, because the best businesses, the biggest businesses, and the most valuable businesses are solving problems for a wide audience of people, and they set themselves a mission to get there. So Nike, that business came about because Phil Knight, the creator and founder of Nike, wanted to create the best running shoe that he could possibly make to help runners increase their track times, help the US Olympic team to beat out the rest of the competition. And it was his dream to help aid elite performers in the field of running. And so what he did was, that was his vision. So his mission then was how he went about achieving that. And to begin with, he partnered with a company called Onitsuka in Japan. He spent months and months trying to source and trying to procure the best possible running shoe that he could use as a foundation for his business, that's only mission was to improve the sprinter or the long distance runner's ability to get the job done well. So vision and mission, massively important.
And to add on to that, the other thing that's almost the third piece of the puzzle with that is the culture, because it's all good and well having the vision and the mission, but you need to then have the team that wants to pull alongside that and believe in the mission and the vision, because if they don't believe in it, you're going to be the only one in a sailing boat of one just trying to sail that boat, and you need a whole team of people to get you to your end destination.
Without a doubt. And something that we do, and I'll be honest, I picked this up from Stephen Bartlett, really, really important piece to the puzzle is that culture fit, because you are only as good as your team. You can put all of the provisions in place to ensure that you are going to actively achieve the vision and the mission. But at the end of the day, it's a team sport. A business is simply a group of people working together to either sell a product or sell a service. And if that team isn't fulfilling the need of the business to actually achieve the vision and the mission, because the culture isn't right, you are never going to be able to hit that mark. And so having a strong culture is so important. So what Steve Bartlett does is he pictures all of his team and puts their names into a metaphorical hat, or even actually taking this exercise to its extreme, actually getting every single one of your team members, put their names into a hat, take one at random and evaluate that name and use them as the yardstick for your business's culture. And if you were to pull out John Smith, and we use John Smith and say, if everybody in the business had a culture that was aligned with John, would the culture of the business go up? Would it go down? Or would it stay the same? Now, the important thing with this is, if the culture would go up, John needs a promotion. He needs to be a manager, because he is one of the active promoters of your business who is pushing the culture forward, and he is one of your golden hires, and you need to look after these people and nurture them and put them in a position of seniority, because management should be pushing your vision and your mission and your culture all at the same time onto the team that are working underneath them. And it's like this cascading waterfall effect. So if it's not coming from the top, you've got a massive problem. But it's, again, if you've got a block somewhere down the line where you hit a wall with your management and they haven't got the culture and they're not buying into the vision and mission, how can they then pass that down onto the team that are working underneath them? And so if you've pulled out John's name from the hat and the vision, mission and culture would improve through promoting him, do so. If the culture was to fall below the standard as to where it currently is, sorry to say, John, it's sayonara. It's right out the front door with you.
Well, yeah, no, it would be, because you wouldn't want to then be spreading that sort of, I mean, normally you call it the bad apple, but if you've got a bad apple, and that is, say, unfortunately, John in this situation, you've then just created a whole team of bad apples, and the whole cart's going to get rotten.
100%. So if it's good, promotion. If it's bad, get rid of them. If it stays the same, that's where you want to be trying to incentivize, or you want to be trying to look to train that staff member further and speaking to them and giving them more insight, because at the end of the day, it's all good and well from a business owner's perspective to talk about vision, mission, and culture and stick it on a board somewhere and then forget about it. Because vision, mission, and culture, it isn't something that you can just talk about once and then just leave it in the background, because it will never be adopted by the team if you just create a silly little sign, stick it in the office, and then say, this is now our new vision, mission, and culture. Your team need to buy into it, and that takes continuous training and continuous reinforcement of that culture. And it's something that the whole team, you need to discuss with them, like you've said, and make sure that everyone's on board, because there's no point in taking on a culture of honesty if the whole team has decided against that and doesn't feel like it's a value that they can align with, because you've just decided as a leader at the top to say, we're all going to be really honest now. And your team underneath are thinking, well, we're not honest on our day-to-day dealings with customers or suppliers or whatever it might be. So just because you've wrote it on a board or on a piece of paper doesn't mean that we're immediately going to adopt it. So they need that training and they need that reinforcement.